Welcome to the Primo's Musings podcast.
Good evening. This is Shri here with the Day 8 recap of the Wimbledon. And let's start now in the men's singles. And I'll come to the Djokovic match at the end, but the signature match that we had today was from an American, Taylor Fritz, who played against world number 4, Zverev. And it looked like Zverev was definitely on point to win the match because he had a 2 sets to love lead. He was up in the third set as well. And I think something happened. I mean, I think give Taylor Fritz a lot of credit. He played at a very high level and came back and in 5 sets. And very interesting because from a standpoint, this was Taylor's first victory against a top 5 ranked player. He was previously 0-9, so he broke that record. But the fourth set again, the once he won the third set 6-4, in the fourth set it was very close, going back and forth, and you could see that. Um, I mean, Fritz was making the big move there, and it went to a tiebreaker, but Fritz won it rather easily. But the story there is that, I mean, I was talking to somebody who I didn't really get to watch the match due to work schedules, but um, definitely it seemed like Zverev was a little off. But give credit to Taylor for coming back and winning um, in 5 sets. This is should be a disappointment for Zverev because he was up 2 sets to 1 in the French Open and lost to Alcaraz. He was up 2 sets to love, I believe, in the Australian Open to Medvedev, and he lost. So should be a disappointment for him. He was playing really well. I thought he would get into the semifinals, but Fritz moves on, and Fritz was actually one of my dark horses to win the Wimbledon. But let's see if he can. The other one where Diminar won against Fils rather easily. But the bigger story of that is that right at the match point, he seemed to have injured himself. But that opens up the um, path for Djokovic, who beat Rune and 6-3, 6-4, 6-2. But the story was actually not the match itself, but what happened after. I think Djokovic had some words to say to some of the fans. He talked about disrespecting, and he talked about very interesting comments that he made. And I mean, this is my take on this. Um, I I think he's probably one of the greatest players to play this game. He has proved himself again and again. But I think when you are world number 1, and I know he feeds off the crowd, boo him, but I always say take the high road because you would never see this kind of display. Obviously, Nadal and Federer were always beloved by the fans, but in some cases, I would say take the high road and move on because he probably has the easiest draw of all because Diminor, again, quarterfinal, and he with Diminor hurt. I mean, this could be an easy path for Djokovic to move on. But the other semifinals would be between Musetti. The quarterfinals would be between Musetti and Fritz. On the women's singles side of things today, um, really a big upset from an American standpoint. Danielle Collins, I really thought this was our because she's had an amazing year this year. She's won a couple of tournaments. She's made a big even in the French Open. She made a deep run, but she fell to Krejcikova 7-5, 6-3. Krejcikova is actually ranked 20 spots higher than Daniela, so really surprised me the result. And then Ostapenko, who'd have thought? I mean, she took down the Iga killer who didn't save a 6-2, 6-3 rather easily. And it's something that I did hear in the post game. Um, she kind of mentioned that Iga was going to have a tough time against Pudensova, but she had to be ready for her. I mean, she's very hard hitting, and she's definitely someone to watch in the quarterfinals. And then Svetlina, wow, what a run she's been having. She beats Wang 6-2 and 6-1. And then one disappointment was for Kalinskaya, who's been playing really well. Um, and she had Sinner coming and watching her play. And Rybakina, I think we were talking about it yesterday too. She's actually right now should be the favorite. She's the um, only number four ranked players. She left the top player, top five players. She's the only one left to, in the bracket so far. And she had a walkover in the second set 3-0 after winning the first set 6-3. So who do we have tomorrow? Tomorrow is probably one of the most exciting days you're going to see with Sinner taking on Medvedev. Great matchup. I think I give the edge to Sinner just because Medvedev, this is not his favorite surface. Hard court is his favorite surface, but Sinner seems to have adjusted very well from Australian to French, even though he lost to French in the semifinals to Alcaraz, and he plays against Medvedev, and I think he's going to win that match. I think, although Medvedev did not spend much time on the court with an easy walkover against Dimitrov, so let's see how he holds up. And then in the other one, which is more interest from an American standpoint, but also having the defending champion Alcaraz playing against Tommy Paul. Right now, they're 2-2. Both of them are red hot. Alcaraz has not lost in the last since he won the Wimbledon last year. So a total of 10 matches. He's unbeaten on grass. And Tommy Paul actually won a tune-up grass court event before coming to Wimbledon. So very interesting to see. I know Dr. Dan actually picked Paul to move on, but I'm going to stick with Alcaraz here because he's the guy I picked to win it all. On the women's side of things, tomorrow, um, the player who shocked Emma Raducanu, Lulu Sun, actually plays against Donna Witchik, and let's see if she can get to the semifinals. I mean, that's going to be a Cinderella run so far. Going from a qualifier to the semifinals will be something amazing. But the big match tomorrow, from a women's standpoint, is the French Open finalist Paulini playing against Emma Navarro. Emma Navarro, who's had amazing run again. She took out Coco Gauff. She beat Naomi Osaka. Two major winners she beat on her way to the quarterfinal. This is a very interesting matchup because um, I think Navarro has the game to advance against Paulini. Paulini is purely, um, a clay court specialist, but I'm picking Navarro, and I I'm going to go with Lulu there for the other match. So that could set up, and then on Wednesday, for the men's singles, you have Diminor playing Djokovic and Musetti playing on Fritz. And then on the women's side of things, on Wednesday you would have Ostapenko and Krejcikova, and then Rybakina versus Svetlina, which will be a very interesting matchup. So let's hope for some excellent matches tomorrow. And it's been an amazing run. Djokovic continues to defy the odds. He's been winning rather easily. He did have one four-setter, couple hiccups along the way. Um, but let's see if he can continue that run. And then Alcaraz and Sinner, they seem to be headed for a showdown, but Medvedev and Tommy Paul may have something to say tomorrow. So with that, we wrap it up and look forward to the recap tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you for listening.
Primo will be back soon.